This was the scene on a previous episode of Motoring TV when Brian Hunt and his family joined the Motoring TV team to review the Mercedes Benz GLB. We got some great feedback from you, our viewers, and so we decided to try it again. Motoring TV has been on TSN for 32 years. I, of course, was just a baby when it began. And in that time, we've been bringing you stories about cars and the people who drive them. And the people that have been reviewing them are us. No problem. But the guy we like to call the rookie, Zach Spencer, said, hey, why don't we have the people who buy them and drive them actually review the cars? We thought it was a great idea, and so did Mercedes Benz. Here's Zach to tell you what happened next.
What we did is we asked you, our Motoring TV viewers, to submit an audition. Most people did it through Facebook. We went through everybody and we found the perfect guy to review this car. His name is Owen Lubinski. He's a German car owner, but he's never driven a Mercedes Benz. So here's his take on the CLA.
I think I've always been a car enthusiast, or motorhead, I guess, so to speak. Anything that has an engine in it. Appreciation for, I guess, all things motorized is what you could say. And my main driver is like a 328D Touring X-Drive, and then just an older Ram truck that's kind of like the weekend user. And then we also have another wagon in the family that my wife drives. Cora, my wife, she's a big horse person. That's how we originally met. She's probably not as much of a car person as me, but she can appreciate like a vehicle, and hers is more of I'm getting A to B, but also having a capable vehicle.
All right, so give it some beans here. Give it some gas. Now, under the hood of this is a 2-liter 4-cylinder, 221 horsepower. Is my impression of this car, I want to hear your impression. Do you think it feels like more or less than 221 horsepower?
From my experience, I think it actually feels like it has more.
That's the torque, right?
Yeah, because of the torque, the higher torque, it seems like it's got plenty of power for passing or just driving, you know, at an 80-kilometer zone if you need to pass somebody. And even, you know, if you're on a 400 series highway, there's plenty of power to put down. And I don't even think I'd ever run it in the sport mode, because the Comfort has enough torque, just normal driving. We're a manufacturing business primarily. We manufacture mainly steel and aluminum, so main focus is scaffolding, but for a number of different sectors. So, you know, from entertainment to power generation to industrial, and even into the sports realm sometimes. This is my parents' horse farm. They're dedicated basically to horses 100% of the time. For me, getting into horses, it was kind of a different, there's always motorized side, so I guess you could say the horses are kind of like the opposite side, but they can do some things that maybe the motorized thing can't. It fits in here on the farm area for sure, because it's a very capable vehicle. In terms of the formatic, I mean, it's a 4-season car. And out here we definitely get distinctive 4 seasons.
So what about the design of this car? I think it's a pretty sleek looking car. It's called a coupe, even though it's got 4 doors. And they made it a little bit bigger than the last model. So what are your impressions of the way it looks?
I think it looks really good. The curb appeal is definitely there. The styling of it, I think in this color, lends itself most to the exterior design of the vehicle. So I think the kind of like a matte gray, or, you know, I think this is the mountain gray.
Yeah, it's a nice color.
It really suits the car well. And the rims complement it for sure. For driving down between, like, you know, Highway 10 corridor and up in this area, which there are some windy roads and steep roads, I found the vehicle handles very well, even on rougher asphalt, which you can get engaged in. The suspension, there's like basically minimal road noise on the vehicle. And as I said, the handling and the comfort basically is all you need to drive it in. The sport mode, maybe if you're on a windier, lower speed section and you just want to have shift from like first, second to third. But overall, I think just keeping it in comfort mode and how it handles it's a very good car. It has more than enough power, especially with the higher torque and how it handles. And I was actually very impressed in terms of its stopping ability. especially when we were driving on probably one of the steepest hills repeatedly earlier today. There was zero brake fade. I was surprised, I think, because of the way the cockpit is laid out. In terms of the intuitiveness of it, you know, the screen, there's multiple ways to actually interface with the brains of the vehicle, which I thought was really good, because myself, I'm more of like a touch visual picture person, so the main screen I did use a lot. I was actually eager to get an evening to actually see how the lighting looked, at the scheme of the lighting looked in it, and basically scroll through all the different colors of it. And my favorite, which you can attest, I ended up saying was the glacier blue, because I thought it just kind of lended to, you know, the color of the body of the vehicle, and basically almost infinite arrangement of how you can arrange that vehicle for, you know, interior ambient lighting. I was surprised by the trunk space. There's definitely tons of room in there for 2 large ski bags. Like
because you're a skier.
If I was traveling, I could probably fit 2 large bags in there easily. And then with the through for the skis, you could put them in there as well. So you wouldn't even need roof racks if there's just 2 of you, which is, in my case, is the scenario that this car would be more than adequate. This vehicle actually has all the facets that I would want in one vehicle. I think Mercedes hit the nail on the head with this car. It's got a broad appeal. I think I told Zach that the vehicle, you know, it's got the new intuitiveness and the lighting adjustments for the cockpit that the younger generation like. And also in terms of the appeal of it, it's not outrageous or ostentatious. So it's got kind of a conservative but aggressive look to it. And it's very comfortable to drive. The only disappointment I have is I have to return it.
Hey, it was fun hanging out this week with Owen and the Mercedes Benz CLA. And you know, the world is full of so-called experts reviewing vehicles for you, and there's nothing wrong with that. But we felt, and obviously so did Mercedes Benz, that it would be refreshing to have the eventual customer get behind the wheel. We hope you liked it too. Here's Zach.
Well, Owen, thanks for bringing us to this beautiful location. Your first time driving a Mercedes Benz, what did you think? What are your final thoughts on the CLA?
I think it's a 10 out of 10. I think Mercedes got it right with this car. It's the first Mercedes I've ever driven, and I've actually grown to it. The kinetic seating is probably my favorite option of the vehicle, and I think moving forward, a lot of other manufacturers are going to have to step up to meet that.
Well, since you've done such a great job, you're our guest on the show, you get to close it out. You know the line, away you go.
We'll see you next week with more stories about cars and the people that drive them, like me.
So here's the question. Where were you 32 years ago? I know some of you weren't even a glint in your father's eye. As for me, well, I was in diapers, but found time to get Motoring TV off the ground. And today I like to think we've got one of the best automotive video libraries in the world. If you agree, please give us the thumbs up and also subscribe. We'd really appreciate it.